pleasure to introduce Dr. Hans Blix as our speaker for this afternoon's meeting.
Thank you very much for your kind, too generous introductory words. And a pleasure to speak at the Royal Institute of International Affairs.
Please welcome.
Given the traditions of analysis.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a pleasure for me to be here today and to have this opportunity to speak to you on the topic.
If you look at the present international situation, it bears many resemblances with those before 1914, before 1939, and before the Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962. Shifting balance of power, powers going up, other powers going down, diplomatic crises, arms races, public opinion, varied elements, public opinion, extreme nationalism in some countries.
The great thing about the digital archive at Chatham House is we're going to give an opportunity to students, those interested in international affairs all over the world, not just in the UK or Europe. They'll be able to go inside and read what Mahatma Gandhi talked about, what Keynes, some of the great thinkers and some of the great figures of the 20th century were involved in and discussing and debating at Chatham House. So to be able to, in a way, to follow history as it happened, but to go into that moment, what it felt like on a particular month or a particular day, I think is going to be one of the great assets of this library.
In a sense, it was actually what Toynbee's Survey of International Affairs was aiming to do, which was publish history as it was happening. And I think this is largely what this archive is. It's, right from 1920, year by year by year, month by month by month, you can see what was being discussed, what were the key topics and what was being said about them and how they panned out over time.
We're bringing together in a single database the full text of all of Chatham House's publications since 1920, along with a great many of the speeches, audio recordings, some of them dating back to the 1960s. So what Cengage have done is enable us to get these things digitised in a way that we simply couldn't afford to do otherwise. But it also makes things much more accessible to the wider world.
Everything is completely searchable. So if you find you've got your search has hit on one of these transcripts, you can read the transcript, but also you can click to listen to the audio.
So you can kind of go through, start by searching for a subject and then very easily see kind of the countries associated with that and very quickly narrow down, if you want to individual speakers and contributors or even types of document. I think the faceted search within this is a really, really strong feature.
The digitisation of the archive is an absolute, and not just of the archive by the way, but gradually of all papers made available by Chatham House and all events run by Chatham House and so on, and the quicker the better.
This will be sold, distributed throughout the world to a number of learned institutions. And then the archive sort of extends and follows us along, basically, going forward.
Because this material covers practically every country, it provides, history for all these countries where maybe they don't have that material themselves. And Chatham House is just so respected. So there's a lot of excitement about this from our global markets.
There's a number of, I think, very good reasons why we selected Chatham House Online to include in the resources we make available at the British Library. Certainly being aware of the history of Chatham House and as the Royal Institute of International Affairs, both its very kind of long-standing role in policy analysis, but also bringing in the people who were actually making policy or influential on policy in a broad range of subjects around international relations for the past 80 years or more. So, the opportunity to get all of those publications in together alongside some really exciting ephemeral stuff, I think opens up that really rich archive and that really rich collection.